Okay, I thought I'd show a little bit more of how to build with vertical logs. This is a cabin that my brother Mark built, and it has some good things to show, so we'll take a look at them. First, take a look at the door. This door does not have a frame, just a chainsaw, has cut the logs to fit, so it fits right in. If you take a look here, you can see some of the chinking. You might even be able to read the temperature there. But chinking between these logs is just foam sprayed out of a can and then covered with some different, you can use permachink or you can use other things, and you might have to touch it up after time if it cracks or anything, but usually it lasts pretty well. Above the vertical logs here are some horizontal logs, a big ridgepole, and rafters. Here's another cabin, not quite finished, but almost finished, and it gives you a good idea a little bit more. And you can see that chinking is just foam between the logs. That foam will be touched up with a wire brush. That log there doesn't have any chinking yet, or not much. Here's the door. Take a look. No framing. This cabin has little glass blocks put in just to allow light to go in. Just cut out the top of the vertical log, slip a glass block in, chink it, you're on your way. Thought I'd show a little bit more of the door. You can see it's just been rough cut with a chainsaw. It's going to be sanded smooth later, but it works now. And the door itself is handmade. The black edge there is actually a piece of angle iron to keep the door straight. The way he's done the foundation on this log cabin, and he's constantly changing things and improving them, is to keep the logs up off the ground. You have a concrete slab here, and then above the concrete slab you can see is blocked up 4x6 treated lumber. At the bottom of the logs, they're all tapered and chinked. You can see the inside of the door. This is just a simple cabin. If I can get a better idea of the And again, this cabin is unfinished. It will be done soon and be rented out. Here's the stove. That's a different kind of stove. That stove is made out of I think it's an oxygen tank. And you put the logs in vertically. Snow on top of the stove. It's snowing in here, and it's not sealed up there above it yet. You can see down here what he's done differently on this cabin is you actually step down inside the door. There's the door. That's snow that's built up against the door, and the door opens in. So you walk in, step down onto the floor, almost 8 inches down. Here's some logs stacked. Enough logs for another 16 by 16 cabin. These logs are poplar, and they've been two-sided on that sawmill right there. Another cabin under construction. We'll go in and take a look. Here you can see a hole that's been cut out at the top of a log to accept some glass blocks, and he's got them spread out throughout this cabin just for lighting. Very simple cabin construction. There are 2 horizontal members and a ridgepole resting across the top on top of the vertical logs. This is just a simple 14 by 16 cabin. All these logs are held together with a piece of rebar, and you can see the rebar pretty well spans right through the logs. If you look closely, you might be able to pick out rebar in between the two logs there, and each log has at least two pieces of rebar holding it in addition to the top and the bottom. The top is anchored to that ridge plate,